At the beginning of this chapter 2 movie scene, John Wick managed to condition the unknown person. After making a search, he only found the identity card only. And then, John Wick went to where the identity card came from. Apparently, the card came from a gangster group that was engaged in the field of drugs. And more precisely led by a man named Abram. Well, this Abram is his sister Vigo. And John Wick's car that Yosefur stole had time he titled him. And clearly the intent of John Wick's arrival just wanted to bring his car home. There John Wick again infiltrates and attacks suddenly. And as always, John Wick beat them very quickly. After successfully found his car, John Wick immediately raised it. Then, without a base, John Wick went straight from the place. Be aware there are intruders that will run away. Some people are there directly chase them. John Wick was very literate to beat them very quietly. John Wick beat them one by one and wins the grammar. After subverting Abram's fruit, John Wick went straight to his room. Since dating to slaughter, John Wick just wants to make peace. Because this Abram does not know anything. Then John Wick decided to leave just like. The next day, came Leo to John Wick's house. John Wick asked Leo to fix his car. After seeing it, Leo made the sip because his car was severe that the whirlpool was destroyed. The skewerworks are crooked and more severely, yes, it's the machine almost dislodged. But nevertheless, as Leo's best friend will try to keep her fixing as it is. Feeling all his affairs was finished, John Wick returned to bury his weapon using cement in the underground room. Because John Wick wants to really retire from the criminal world and wants to live normally like humans in general. Soon the coming guest was his old friend called Santino. The intent of Santino is he is in need of John Wick's help. Because John Wick had owed the service to him about 4 years ago. And as the proof is the seal of the blood agreement. Let me do not be confused, the seal is kind of aquashare or evidence of the agreement of both parties concerned. It was first when John Wick was assigned by Vigo to kill Boogeyman, he asked for help to Santino. And now Santino bills the service. Without thinking, John Wick immediately rejected him on the grounds that he is now retired. Do not want to force, Santino also decided to immediately from his home. Feeling hurts because the seal is already betrayed, then also Santino directly launched the attack. Santino also blows John Wick's house by using the rifle. After that, John Wick was questioned by the police, and John Wick answered his fire was caused by leaking gas. John Wick also feels sad. After walking tens of kilometers, finally John Wick up in the Continental. The goal he came there just wanted to meet Winston. It was Winston already knowing about him and Santino. Winston advised him that John Wick was wrong. Each seal must be respected. Otherwise, John Wick was free to be killed by anyone. After listening to the advice of Winston, with the formerly Cone, Wick finally came to Santino to do what he wanted. It was Santino wanted to kill his own sister named What Game San. Now Diana sitting at 12 high seat chairs located in Rome, Italy. The reason is clear, Santino envied to Gianna. After his father died, his father even passed his position to Gianna. While he is only in a fashionette museum that exhibits artwork and antiques only. Fearless of killing her sister's brother, Santino needs John Wick. Because there is the courtier of the Gianna enough reliable and difficult to beat. After Rome, Italy, John Wick took his remaining weapons deposit there. After taking a weapon deposit, John Wick towards the Continental there in Rome, Italy. Apparently the Hotel Continental was not only in America only. There John Wick was warmly welcomed by the hotel manager directly named Julius. They both have known each other for a long time. Because the hotel arrivals the specials of the guests, Julius has one of the best hotel rooms. After getting a room at Continental, John Wick came back out to meet one of his long-terms of in-house. The goal of John Wick came to him only to observe the Gianna base, and of course John Wick managed to get his key duplicate to infiltrate. After that, John Wick went to the convection to book the anti-bullet suit that he would wear during the run of the action. And John Wick also tried the suit. Then John Wick came to his subscribed gun shop to handle a wide range of items to launch his adrenaline action. And John Wick also tried one by one of his weapons. After all the equipment is ready, John Wick immediately to the Gianna base through the underground channel. Incidentally, there is a party event, so the crowd can John Wick take advantage of infiltration it easily. And each item, John Wick puts on each path. Like a ghost, John Wick made it into unnoticed by anyone. And when Gianna was in his private room, suddenly John Wick was right in his room. Gianna is shocked at the presence of John Wick. Gianna knows the intent of John Wick's arrival, who will kill him for the desire of his own sister's saints. Do not want to die in John Wick's hands, Gianna resigned. If he parses it after, he must be lost to the challenger of John Wick. Do not want to take dizzy, Gianna decided to kill himself by cutting the nick in his hands, and Gianna died in his bubbish and shot in the head by John Wick. When John Wick came out of the Gianna room, his assistant named Cashin was suspicious of the presence of John Wick as an uninvited guest. Like the pro pub player, John Wick succeeded in slaughtering them one by one with the shooting. There was a party. The party atmosphere became chaotic. The people ran out of fear. And John Wick managed to get away. Middle of a judge trip, there was a car that hit his. It turns out that is Cashin and happening John Wick to finish them. Then John Wick and the workshop on 1-1 between them. After the duel one-on-one, who was fierce and had switched moved place, they then until the fight outside the Hotel Continent. Then Julius spent them both to stop. As we know that the Continental Hotel is a neutral zone. Eventually they both stopped and headed for the bar to drink together. There was Jesus to ask him for whom he worked. Then John Wick replied that he worked for Santino, sister of Gianna himself. Did not accept his boss killed by John Wick, again the West of demanding revenge to him that life must be paid with life. Then Cashin also treated Dr. John Wick's drift irons and left it. Because of his adrenaline action, John Wick's phone was to be damaged. Soon the phone was in his hotel room. He got a call from Santino. He said that what kind of brother if he did not revenge over his own brother's death. Despite being assisted by John Wick, Santino even betrayed him. I also played, then also Santino put a contract for John Wick with a nominal of $7 million and the contract he pairs to open. Because the status was open, automatically contract notification John Wick was also spread to the billing around the world. John Wick is now like AS and a sinful terrorist. He is going to return to America. He does not know what's going on there. As we know, that John Wick's phone is already broken. Because he does not hold HP, he also does not know that he is now contracting, and every converbid confronted him in front of him to kill him then. And luckily John Wick could be able to block him and defeat the billman one by one with his hands and guns. When it was up in America, John Wick even met with Cashin. In the crowd they both got raw outfit until John Wick had to run through the subway. And again, there John Wick had to deal with the budgets who accidentally saw him. As always, John Wick also won against the billman. Took, surviving, Cashin continues to teach John Wick wherever he is. John Wick tried to get into the crowd to remove the trail. But Cashin splashed him up into the carriage. Inevitably John Wick fought with a Wes. And after the passengers start down, they live duel one-on-one then as well. As we know, John Wick is the strongest. With no difficulty, he defeated Cashin. Whether here Cashin Matu or not, because John Wick gave it a chance by sticking his knife on his AOTA. If it was revoked, Cashin would die out of blood, then just left. After getting out of the train, John Wick again met with two mixers who were chasing him. He was blurred toward a beggar and immediately gave it a coin to hide. Because John Wick knew, the beggar was not a rapidly. The beggar was one of the cabinet syndicates in New York City. That's the concept of its accounting. Etiquette notes that the beggars are known to be quite a counter with high table. John Wick asked him to bring with their boss named Bowery. And when the two buds were in front of him, suddenly the beggar immediately shot him. After meeting Bowery, John Wick immediately said that he was in his help. John Wick wants to sneak in secret to the location of Santino because John Wick Tao, Bowie beggars are spread all over the city. Obviously, John Wick alone, he will be killed by the billmen he met. Because John Wick has run out of weapons, he pleads to Bowery so he gives him a weapon. And lucky Bowery gave him a Kimber 1911 pistol with a capacity of only 7 bullets only. Although only 7 bullets, in such situations are really worth it to John Wick. Finally, the Bowery beggars took John Wick in a quiet way to the Santino location. In this museum belonging to the Santino was seen having a party over the change of position at the high table. After seeing their John Wick, everyone was surprised. Especially for Santino himself, he was shocked and unbelievable. Nothing John Wick's longed to live out and kill all the Santino's children at the party. Santino himself panicked and escaped. After they all the way, John Wick entered the relaxation room filled with the interior mirror to make John Wick a bit of confusion. How to be his sharp instinct, John Wick again could kill the guard quite easily. With his knife with a woman confident against John Wick, but of course he was killed and his strength was too far to John Wick. After successfully escaped, Santino went straight to the Continental Hotel with the intention to take place from John Wick. And John Wick also hunted Santino to the Hotel Continental. Eventually they both met, witnessed by Winston. No wonder his hotel got sanctions from the high table. Winston tried to muffle the anger of John Wick. Winston told John Wick to put his pistol and told him to leave. But unfortunately, John Wick ignored him. Although later he will get big problems, for John Wick it does not matter. John Wick also shot at Santino's head with his gun. After from the Continental, John Wick came home to his destiny to look for the rest of his wife's relics. Because of a dog, because of a car and a seal of the blood agreement, now John Wick lives is a mess. Plus, now John Wick's contracts hunted the burden of the worldwide clearly made his life more chaotic. When he was piercing his fate, the receptionist hotel is astonished Winston to give news that Winston wants to meet him. Even though they are friends, Winston remains professional in order to keep his name in the eyes of high table. Because of his actions to Santino and Continental, the membership must be in the dislodgation. All related services and facilities have no longer valid for John Wick. It could be the status of the excommunicado Winston announced then. As we see around John Wick, everything is the billman who is ready to get the way. But since they are both friends, Winston gave a time of 1 hour to immediately escape as far as he could. Because of the excommunicado status that he was a piece, all the closest people regretted the status. Seconds by second, minute by minute. And the time keeps walking, then John Wick also runs away. And the next sequel is in the next video, yes. Thank you for watching.